Welcome, I'm Jennifer Raye, and in today's video I'm going to discuss the yin yoga posture of square pose. So square pose is a hip opener. It creates a lot of external rotation in the hips, and if you lean forward, we're also working with the flexion in the spine. So primarily it targets the gallbladder and liver meridians, as well as the kidney meridian and the urinary bladder meridian. So watch the video to learn more. For your posture of square pose, you'll want to also check out the other video that I've made on shoelace pose. Some yogis find one more preferable than the other, so check them both out and maybe even just use them alternating in your practice. So square pose is sometimes called fire log or box pose, and so you'll want to look out for that as well. So from here, you'll want to start by sitting up on a little bit of height underneath your pelvis. This encourages a forward tilt in the pelvis, which will be important as we come into the forward fold aspect of the pose. So sitting up on a little bit of height, and then the first option is to cross one shin in front of the other with the feet directly underneath the knees. Now notice I'm not pulling the feet right up towards the groin. You want instead the feet to be underneath the knees, and then you fold forward from here. This is more classically known as Sukhasana pose. Now from here, another option would be to place the foot on top. And then in this variation, the shins are parallel, so there's space between the shins and the groin. And then you would fold forward from here. Many yogis will find that their knee is quite high above the floor. Either the top leg or the bottom leg could be as well. And in that case, they can use support. So you could place a folded blanket, for example, underneath like so, and then work this movement. If you're finding this pose creates pain in the knee, you're definitely going to want to back off and find other variations. So maybe doing less flexion in the leg would be appropriate, or again, using the folded blankets either behind the knee or underneath the knee will help to take pressure off that joint. If you have a history of lower back concerns like herniated disc or pain in the lower back, or you have a history of sciatica, once again, you're going to want to sit up on something and maybe not fold forward quite as far. You could keep the spine nice and long as you fold forward instead of rounding the spine. As you fold forward, like I mentioned, you do have two options. So you could keep the spine long, and in that case, we'll just be working the targeting in the hips and the inner groin. And if you round the spine forward, then the targeting comes into the back body where the urinary bladder channel runs. There are other variations you can take as well. So if it's uncomfortable or creates pain, especially in the knees or the lower back, you could take this posture on your back. So I'll just show that here. From here, you would come down onto the floor, and then you would cross one shin over the other and grab the feet like so, resting the head to the floor. From here, keeping the feet just gently flexed, you can pull the feet up towards the head and then down towards the body. You see how that creates the same targeting in the tissues and the meridian system. And then of course, just like the seated variation, you would do both sides. As you fold forward, you can drop the head and let it hang if that's comfortable for your neck, or you could support the head, which is usually what I recommend. So placing a prop out in front of you to support your head this way, or you could use a bolster, for example, on the long end, supporting the forehead as you fold. And then of course in the yin yoga system, we hold the poses for longer periods of time. So you want to find a place where you start to feel sensation that is not pain, and then you can stay and soften the tissue and allow the tissue to open over time, maybe staying a number of minutes. As you come out of the pose, you can place your hands to the outsides of the legs and just gently draw the feet out in front of you. Remember, after holding poses for longer periods of time, the tissues are much more fragile, and so you'll want to move nice and slowly. Simply placing the legs out in front of you and opening the backs of the knees is a nice counter pose here. You can also bring your hands behind you and just open the front of the body. Now, depending on the rest of your sequence, you could do a number of poses next to create internal rotation of the hips. After all of that external rotation, you could do something like the windshield wiper movement, just dropping the knees to one side and then the other. So I hope you've enjoyed this posture of square. Remember, square opens the gallbladder meridians on the outer hip, the liver and kidney meridians of the inner leg, and then the bladder channel along the back body if you begin to round forward. Be sure to get over to jenniferraye.com to find more yin yoga resources and sign up for my mailing list there, where I send out regular resources around yin yoga. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.